So this year, I bought a 3D printer, and with Christmas just on the horizon, I thought I'll put it to good use. But the challenge here is, what do I print? After some serious brainstorming and a few drinks, it finally hit me. Coasters. I started simple, a snowflake-shaped coaster. Fun, functional, but I couldn't stop there. This coaster fixed the issue, but from afar, it just looked like a plain old coaster. I decided not only did I want to be functional, but I wanted to be organised. So with this idea in my head, I decided to get to work. I don't have a multicolour attachment for my printer, so I had to be quite creative with the way that I modelled this. I started with the base. To make it look like a wrapped present, I added these dips in the side. This way, I could print ribbon later in a different colour. For the lid, I copied the base, flipped it over, scaled it down, done. Now I just had to figure out how to join the base and the lid together. I had these magnets left over from previous prints and thought they might create the effect I'm looking for without taking away from the style of the box. After taking some measurements with my caliper, I went into Blender and created these magnet holes on either side of the dips, both on the base and the lid. Now I had to model the infill pieces for the ribbon. To do this, I created a new cylinder, scaled it to the same size as the previous one, and removed all faces apart from the ones in the infill. I then scaled and messed around with them until they fit perfectly. It's all about the details. Next was the top ribbon. I copied the side infill and scaled it to the same depth as the lid. Then I grabbed the top faces and extruded them upwards and over the top of the lid to the centre. I copied this around all four sides of the lid until all infill dips were filled. I then grabbed each of the four sides and joined them together, creating one final mesh. Next came the trickiest part of all, the bow. I used a Bezier curve path to mould the shape, extruded and adjusted the depth until it was just about right. This really brought the design together. Now that I had the design, I had to think about what materials I was going to print it in. I dug into my filament stash and grabbed this Festive red and green Bamboo Labs matte PLA. After I decided on the materials, the next step was just to hit print and see how they turned out. This print took a few plates to print and requires some construction, but it'll all be worth it in the end. First things first, gluing the magnets into their slots. Thanks to the precise measurements from earlier, they fit like a glove. The trick here is double checking the polarity before gluing, because even if one magnet is facing the wrong way, let's just say the lid won't be staying on. Once the magnets are secured in both the lid and the base, it's time to attach the side ribbons. This part is straightforward, just line them up carefully with the grooves we designed earlier and glue them in place. A steady hand goes a long way here. And finally, the bow. This step is a bit more delicate because there is very little room for error. Once the bow is in position, I make sure to check for any excess glue that might have seeped out. A quick clean up before it dries ensures a nice clean finish. I'm thrilled with how it turned out. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to let me know what you're printing this Christmas.